There we go. All right. Hey, everybody. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. I know everybody else is going to be piling in. It is Wednesday after all, so it's totally fine. Boxy! Boxy. Hello, Boxy. How are you? Hope you're doing well today on this fine Wednesday. Play Doors Floor 2. It's fun. I will definitely give it a try. Oh my goodness. Where's everybody else at? We're missing Dragon. We're missing... Well, that's good, man. I'm glad. Hey, Lean. How's it going? Welcome. Welcome to the Wednesday stream. Holy crap. I don't know. Possibly. I'm too tired. I just got back probably about an hour ago. We had open house. So I got to meet some of my students and some of their parents. Well, I should say I know my students. I got to meet some of the parents to the students. I wonder where the originals are. Well, it's Wednesday. Who knows what they're doing right now? Let's see. Let me check the Discord. Let me check the Discord. Why is this stream called why not? It's an old meme. It's an old meme. It's a millennial meme. Wow. Pastor is playing Green Hell right now. We're all in a mental crisis. Probably. I know I am. I had my first test with my students today, and I am shocked by all of the failures that came through. I feel very upset about it, actually. I'm not gonna lie. Hey, Lean, welcome to the Wednesday stream. Is an epic flow. I agree. It is some epic flow. I just couldn't finish it. I'm just not skilled enough to finish it. Oh man. Unlike modern day brain rot. Oh man, yeah. Today was a rough day, guys. I have let me take a look at the numbers again. I have to take a look at the numbers because I need to. So let's see. I had 64 students take a test today. And let me see. Put on my glasses, but I'm getting out. I have it was a 20 question test. Majority was multiple choice, which saved some of their butts, not all of them. But then the short answer questions, which require a little bit of studying and reading on their part, they did not get so well. And so I think so far I've had one student. Nice. I have one student who passed with a 75. That's about that's a mid C grade. If I was to throw a letter grade at it, it's a C. Then I've had 3 students with a 70, which is a low C. And then I've had 2 students get a 65. Where's my majority at? My majority is sitting at 30. So 30 is like that's an FF. That's a failure. And wait, what? I have one student who got a 5. Whew. Man, dude. F means failure. That it does. So I'm just sitting here looking at a lot of these. Hey Henry, what's going on? Oh boy. Okay, well that one makes me that doesn't make me too upset. Well, I can't cry over spilt milk, as they say. So I'll take a look. How are they in a higher grade than me? I don't know, man. Like, okay, so I'm not going to show you any of their names because that would be against the law. All right, but let me show you this one threw me for a loop. This one actually made me. This triggered me. This question triggered me. All right, I'm gonna zoom in. I'm gonna zoom in here. All right. So the question is, Hammurabi's law code regulated the behavior of citizens in blank. Now, the correct answer is Mesopotamia. But I've had 9 students say Egypt, 9 students said China, and 1 student said Greece. How does Hammurabi look like a Chinese name, or a Greek name, or an Egyptian name? Egyptian, maybe with Egyptian I can probably give you a little bit of leeway. Maybe you got confused. But Chinese and Greece and Greek, that looks nothing like a Greek name, and that looks nothing like a Chinese name. I don't understand it. I don't understand it, chat. I want someone to make it make sense for me. And the problem is, nobody can. Nobody can make it make sense. And like, your social studies classes in Mesopotamia right now? Yeah. You know. Oh, okay. So this question right here relates to a picture. A picture that is, I'll show it to you. Let me see if I saved it. I should have saved it. I know I saved it. Maybe I didn't save it. I thought I did. Well, basically, this question relates to some coins. Okay, so this is the image that they were shown. Okay, and it tells you right here, coins produced in China during the Song Dynasty. They need to use this picture to answer the next 3 questions. This is the one that the item in this image were most likely created for what purpose, chat? A, to reinforce the mandate of heaven upon which the emperor's legitimacy rested. Huh? This is a Wendy's, sir. These are coins. Okay? It's like to limit the state's control over the economy and give greater freedom to merchants. C, to create a more portable and consistent exchange medium. And lastly, to increase the flow of gold and silver coming from the Americas. What? How do these coins from the Song Dynasty in like the, what, 2nd or 3rd century, if I'm not mistaken, relate to like coins coming out of the Americas, and the Americas doesn't get settled till about the 15th century? We're way off here. The only I think we can mark off 2 answers for sure. Yes, the mandate of heaven, one for sure, and the increase of flow of gold and silver. Now, if they would have selected to limit the state controls, you haven't learned about ancient China yet? Okay. Well, to limit this control over the economy from the merchants, I can see where if they selected this one, okay, at least they're on the right track. But this was the main reason right here, to create a more portable and consistent exchange medium. All right, everyone's we need to have a consistent form of currency. That was the whole shebang, the whole reason for creating coins. All right, we created coins. Why are we quoting the spy, Meet the Spy, right now? Yeah, the whole purpose of creating coins was so that we can have an easier means of currency that could be portable. I mean, that's the only reason why. And when you get to ancient China, the Song dynasty was, in all of its intents and purposes, was a merchant dynasty, and they established paper money. Teach, I come back to ask for some assistance or advice, man. I got a project tomorrow, man. I'm still not finished. Oh shit. Well, okay. I try to help you out as best I can. I'll try to help you out as best I can. What's going on? Talk to me, meme. Talk to me. While I'm still in the mood of teaching. Geography, dude. Geography is like the easiest subject in high school. It really really is, man. It's just peninsulas, archipelagos. Excuse me. There's a teacher on my campus that calls an archipelago. I'm like, dude, what are you smoking? Like, seriously. Look, I taught geography for like 4 years. You're not cooked, man. It's super easy. Event pass. What event? Oh, it's the 9th anniversary of you have to deal with three. Oh, so are you taking, wait, are you taking AP World or are you taking AP Human? Which geography are you taking? AP World. Okay. So what's your issue? So what do you got to do, bro? What you got to do? Talk to me. Talk to me, buddy. Hold on. I'm a just cook in the morning. Trust. I trust. I trust. Green Hell. I remember that. I remember it too. Let's check out this Delta Force game that Angel has been wanting me to play for like the longest of time. So let's check it out. It is a war game. This is War Gaming Wednesday. So you got to make a weather report in full detail. You know you want to play Green Hell. Do I really want to play Green Hell? I don't know. I don't know if I want to play Green Hell. Date of birth. This is gonna get depressing. 1979? No, not there. Yeah, go a little bit more. There it is, 1984. I agree to all. I'll join you. Wait, in Green Hell, Mr. Dodge? Green Hell? You gotta make a weather report in full detail. Weather report in full detail. Like how much detail is full detail, but imagine being 39. I try not to. And I have to present in front of the entire class. Oh. And I'm now just starting, and I gotta do fourth period. Damn. As much as I hate to say it, you could try to chat GPT that stuff. I'm not gonna lie. It's just a weather report. I'm not saying full blown cheat or whatever. I'm just saying like brightness. Like on par with the news guys, and professionals be like, dude, professional weathercasters are on the fly kind of guys. They don't really do anything. Not for your class, though, Mr. Teacher, man. Let me open this up really quick. All right. Good evening. Good evening. Can you create a weather report for my 9th grade AP World Geo class? In the style of a
plagued by unending conflict and suffering. I found a way to make it better.
I don't have an AI wife that I talk to for hours. I have an actual wife that I talk to for hours. Now I have multiple AI girlfriends. That's a different story. I have a professional.
First with Stonesport.
I have a professional weathercaster.
Broke my lines of production and cracked my foundation.
Good evening, folks. I'm your weather anchor, bringing you forecasts for the world. I love stories here. Let's hear them.
Primal fear clouded their minds.
Look, I'm just saying, bud. I'm just saying. All right, Global Threat Initiative. Enter identity. No, let's change it up here. Eeny, meeny, miny. Okay, how about I won't let me do 420. All right, so here we are, guys. We're gonna call myself Big Nerd Daddy. All right. Am I eating apples too aggressively when they hurt to bite into? Yes. Okay, so
Attention, soldiers. This is to approach and win. Attack, defend. Two teams face off. Attackers and defenders. Attack the objectives. Gotta hold all of them at the same time to lock that area. The defenders, you need to resist like hell. Hold on to the objectives. Any reinforcements as you need. Attack.
alright, so apparently we have different operators. This is, what's his name? His name is Wolf. Alright, Meme. Catch you later, buddy. Here you go. Wolf. We got Viron. Or his name is Wang Yuhao.
I got your back, your front, the whole meat sack.
Aren't you
Taking
cool?
mechanics carefully is like taking life seriously.
Kind of like this guy. Heavy weapons.
Someone's about to get shafted.
Well, she's all glitchy, guys. All right, we're gonna do this guy right here. Start. Damn, people dropped me like a bad habit today. Trash. Oh, did we get somewhere? No? If I don't find anything, I'm gonna be kind of upset. Like 52 out of 64, 53 out of 64. Heavy weapons guy though. I think I like the heavy weapons guys. What's going on in chat right now? This guy's name is Incubator Jesus. There we go. All right. Let's see how this game goes. If it's worth actually my time and your time, chat. If it's not worth your time, chat, I'm gonna have to get after Angel. That's my Twitch name, Grandma Incubator. Okay, you're on the defensive. Choose a battle base. I guess right here is fine.
We make another stand here. Hold the objectives as long as you can.
6. Ooh. What? Oh my goodness, guys. I don't think that's right. This is a weird. This is weird. Just saw something traumatic. Oh no. I think we're all down.
Hold this ground and make the enemy pay.
Alright, let's see.
Enemy attacking objective Alpha 1.
The hell? Well, I got one. I don't know how that guy saw me.
Alpha 1 has been compromised.
I just saw the helicopter the crash. Alright, well. Nobody's coming to my rescue. I expected the music to be a little bit more dramatic.
Sector Alpha is now in enemy hands.
Ouch.
Hold this ground and make the enemy pay.
This is a weird game. Oh geez. How did that happen?
Enemy troops assaulting objective Bravo 1.
Guys, y'all better get your butts in there. Like, seriously. Oh, there's a tank. We got a tank.
Enemy has neutralized Bravo 1.
Ah, shit. This game reminds me of a lot of like Battlefield. I'm getting like Battlefield vibes from this game.
Hostiles now control Bravo 1. Hold this ground and make the enemy pay.
Enemy tank right there! Go get him! Go get him!
Wow. No, not report. Jeez. I want to take a shot at that tank again. I want to take a shot at that tank again one more time. Where did, dude? Where are these things coming from, man?
Enemy troops assaulting objective Bravo 2. Hold this ground and take the enemy bay.
That was close. You know what this game is missing? Music. Alright. Alright.
They've sustained minimal losses. We cannot let the enemy break through.
This game, I mean, it's...
Enemy neutralized objective Bravo 2.
Wow. Hey Techno, how's it going? This is embarrassing, guys. This is pretty bad. Like there's nothing safe. Like I'm gonna have to spawn all the way to the back.
The enemy has fully seized control of Sector Bravo.
Okay, well, now we're in cave. We're in a cave system now. How about I tell some stories? Dude, you can tell whatever you want, man. You're good to go.
Defend the objective. Do not let them take this sector.
I don't know what's going on.
Stay in formation. Stay alive.
I have no idea what just happened. But I'm gonna leave the match because man, this game is not for me right now. Not gonna lie, chat. I'm gonna have to go back to it some other time. But holy crap, that it's not a bad game. It's just I cannot deal with it right now. There's just too much going on. I have those test scores that I got to worry about. I got all that nonsense to worry about. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it alone for now. Okay, so there was a recent time, where me and this group were doing an activity. It was an assigned group per se. It was 2 of my friends and 1 random girl. All right, I'm interested. What's going on? You've piqued my attention, sir. "15 to 25 minutes in, me and my friends were doing the activity." Okay. I'm so very tempted to buy the battle pass. She's getting ready to become a helicopter. Oh, and suddenly the girl just sat on the floor and started spinning. It was very random. And I was just questioning reality. Okay? And the fact is, yes, yes. What is the fact? That you weren't that she wasn't really spinning at all, but the room was spinning. I don't know, the fact that he hasn't responded must mean that I might be on the track here. I actually sit next to this person in my advisory, a second period class, because of assigned seats. I'm still following you. See if he comes back around. Is he gonna come back around? Maybe before he called me an NPC in a good way, probably, because you're really milking this, Boxy, by the way. I act very random and entertaining. But not as random as her. That's for sure. Damn it, missed. Let me see, who's the one that said something? I'm high as hell in green hell right now. There we go. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Ah, missed. Ate up my planes. Talk about hydrogen. And we started talking a bit more, and the other one asking me something, I'm answering, doing my best to entertain them. That was a lot. Let's see. Keep moving. There you go. Which way are you turning? There you go. Got him once. Coming around. Got another one. Whom is Linda? I don't know. Whom is Linda? Y'all want to hear about the time I got stabbed? Well, I know you've heard it already. Old news. Damn it. Tell the story. All right. So, a long time ago, back when Nerd was a very, very young, angry man, I should say. Oh, those torpedoes didn't even hit. That's lame. So, a long time ago, back when Nerd was a very, very young, angry man, alright, I had a job. The job before I became a teacher that I held was that of a prison guard. I was a corrections officer in the state of Texas. And I did this for a number of years until I decided to go back to school and finish my education and become a history teacher. So I think I know who must have stabbed you. I feel like you've never been angry before. Oh man, dude, when I was younger, I was a very angry kid. I had a very, very bad temper. I never knew you were a corrections officer. I don't talk about it much. I don't. Every now and then, like, if I get in the mood, because I did that, like, I did that when I was young. Like, I was, I graduated. I keep a ton of secrets behind doors. I mean, it's not really like a secret. It's just that, how can I put this? Like, because hardly anyone wants to hear the stories. Like, I have lots of stories because I did the job. I graduated in 2003. I was about 18, and like I said, I was a very, very angry, young individual. So, well, that's good, man. I'm glad. I feel safe too, generally, like, my wife knows most of the stories. Like, well, I take it back. She only knows, like, the high points. She doesn't know any, I haven't told her any of the low points. The low points are kind of like, they're really bad. But anyways, so I graduated in 2003. I was 18. I didn't want to go to college. I felt that I wasn't ready or mature enough to go to college. So I decided to go and get a job. And so I decided that I was going to get a job. That and my dad kind of like also told me, like, either find a job or move out because I'm not going to have a bum around the house. Hey, Henry. And that was pretty much how my dad was old school, and I'm kind of like the same way too. And I'm very grateful for my upbringing. But anyways, so I eventually got a job as a prison guard. I went through the whole basic training. It was like about a couple of months. We had to exercise, we had to get fit, and then we had to qualify with, at the shooting range, because, we had to be qualified to shoot. We had to shoot the AR-15, the 12 gauge shotgun with buckshot and slug, and then also too, we also had 357 Magnum. So we had to qualify with those in order for us to finish training. And then after we got done with training, they gave us our units that we were going to work on, our farms. In Texas we call them farms, because that's what they are essentially. But anyways, I digress. That was just backstory. Now, that 18-year-old kid is no longer 18. He's roughly about 20 going on 21. And he's still angry. He's still a hothead. And so I'm doing my own thing. So the unit that I worked at was a medium security unit, which basically meant that these guys were troublemakers. These guys were like gang members. They were affiliated with organized crime in some fashion, whatever. They were just hardened criminals. Most of them had done some form of assault to murder and stuff like that. So these guys were like not guys to play around with. This is where I kind of like what I would do. I would mess around with them on purpose. All right. If these guys could have a bad day because of me, it meant that I was doing my job for that day. Okay? It meant that I was I was entertained for the most part. I know that sounds kind of mean, kind of wrong, and like I said, I was a very angry person, and not the person that I am today. So one day, I'm coming into the building. I go through the first Sally port, check in, and go to shift briefing. The lieutenant's there talking about regular news, gossip, and things of that nature as to what's going on in the prison. And, you know, he pretty much gives our assignments. My assignment was in a cell block. And one of my least favorite cell blocks, because my least favorite inmate, I know that sounds really funny to say, but my least favorite inmate was living in that cell block. Good hits, good hits. Deflected. Missed. Nice. Okay, so anywho, so I'm walking down the main hall in the prison, and I pass by a bunch of inmates who are waiting to go to commissary. Now, commissary is basically this little shop that's inside the facility that, you know, it's a little shop. It's like a little corner store where the inmates can pick up like ice cream, sodas, candies, and things of that nature. It all costs money, but it's actually pretty affordable and pretty cheap, especially for officers. All right. And the best thing about this is that officers are allowed to cut the line whenever they want. It doesn't matter. All right. And most officers didn't do it because it was kind of a dick move. But yeah, you catching on if you're following me. All right. So, you motherfucker. Sorry, excuse. So anyways, it gets pretty hot in Texas. Like it's very hot in Texas. And inside of a prison, you get stabbed for cutting, I'm guessing. No. It's much worse than that. Much worse than that. So I see the inmate that my least favorite inmate is also in line. It's extremely hot in the prison. We don't have air conditioning. There is no central cooling. And when it's hot, we have these huge fans that just blow nothing but hot air all over the place. So it's very uncomfortable for a lot of people. So I see that the inmate is in line. His cell block is in line. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna cut in line. And I'm gonna be an asshole. So I cut in line in the commissary, and I look at the commissary officer who's sitting behind some thick glass, and I said, "Hey, you know what? Can you do me a favor? I want to buy some ice cream. And the guy's like, sure. What do you want? And I said, let me have all of your ice cream. And he just looked at me and he was like, wait, what? I said, yeah, let me get all your ice cream, please. How many pints of ice cream do you have right now in there? He's like, I got, I don't know, maybe 12 or 13. I'm like, that's cool. I owe some people some money. I owe some people some money. I promised them some ice cream, so let me go ahead and get those pints of ice cream from you. And the officer was like, okay. So he gave me like this big old grocery paper bag full of these pints of ice cream. And pints of ice cream, were you going to give the ice cream to all the prisoners? God, no, I would never do that. Not angry young Jason, or nerdy, I should say. Not that guy. That guy was a dick. That guy was an asshole. So I bought all the ice cream, and generally everybody in commissary was always waiting for the ice cream. Ice cream trucks didn't come that often, and when they did, they usually brought in a lot of stock, and they usually sell out pretty quickly. I decided to buy up what was left over. Alright, so I bought all of the ice cream, all 12 pints, which is like, at the time, it was only roughly about $6-7. Alright, because pints inside prison are like super cheap. It's not even funny. But, ooh, got a Citadel. Hold on, let me see if I can sink this guy. There we go. Alright, both those guys are gone. Makes my job easier. Alright, back to the story. So I buy all the ice cream, I walk out with my bags, and I'm passing my inmate, my least favorite inmate, and I look at him square in the eye and I blow him a kiss. Now, generally in prison, when you do that, you generally don't want to do that in prison, okay? Because that's just like poking the hornet's nest, right? And me and him didn't like each other anyway. We had a very strong hatred. I would say hatred for each other. Why? We just didn't, just for whatever reason. He didn't like me because I wore the uniform of an officer. I didn't like him because he was just a shitty person. So, but yeah, so nothing. That's just what it was. Move this direction. So I just, I walked past him. I kind of smiled because I bought all. It was a burning hatred, yeah. And walked past him, blew him a kiss, and just taunting him just a little bit because I bought all the ice cream, and I'm passing it out to all the officers around me. Because I mean, who's gonna eat 12 pints of ice cream? I'm not gonna eat 12 pints of ice cream. And so I'm just being an asshole, and I'm just passing it around to all these other officers, and whatever, Switch to that. So I get to the cell block, and I relieve the officer in there, and Hold on, they're doing a game plan right now. Okay. So strategy. Yeah. So I get to the cell block, relieve the officer. The inmates who are at commissary start to come back, and I see them all come in, and they're all glaring at me. They're all upset. They're all mad. And I'm just like, whatever. Nah. You keep running your mouth. Keep running your mouth. All right, except for that one inmate. Except for him. He comes in, doesn't say a word. Just doesn't say anything to me. He just walks right past me, glares at me, and goes into the day room. Now, the day room is, as it says, it's a day room. It's a room where they go to hang out for the day. They got TVs and all that other stuff in there. So I'm just looking around, and I'm just like, well, you know what? I have, we both know what's going to happen. No freaking way. That should have been a hit. No, that was a hit, chat. Okay, he broke line of sight. There we go. Sweet deal. We got a victory. Okay, now I can tell this. Now I can focus on the story. So, the inmate goes into the day room. He sits down. He's talking to his buddies, watching TV. Now, when you work the cell block, so you have a certain level of duties when you work a cell block. The first duty is that you have to run what are called ins and outs. Basically, the inmates that are in the day room have to be cycled out of the day room and back to their cells if they want to do that. And you had to do this every hour on the hour. And then the same thing. Yeah, they could watch television. They had TVs. They had colored TVs. And so the inmates who were in the cells had to roll out and go to the day room. So we just cycled them like that. And we had to do that every hour. It was an inmate's choice to either stay in the day room or go back to their cell. It was their choice. All right. And they had to wait. And if they decided to change their mind at the last minute and they wanted to go back to their cell, they would have to wait for the next hour, basically. All right. Now, of course, you could run a case-by-case basis, whether if you actually wanted to walk and escort the inmate back to his cell and pop him back in. You know, but generally it was a pain in the butt and nobody really did it. All the new officers would. I wouldn't. So, but that's one duty. Now, the other duty that you have to do is you do random cell checks for contraband. Contraband can be anything from tobacco, cigarettes, homemade alcohol, things that they are not supposed to have, like homemade speakers, tattoo guns, drugs, extra clothing, extra sheets, food that is supposed to be in their locker and not outside of their not outside the locker. Any food stored outside of their given locker was considered contraband and could be confiscated. Most officers didn't do that. Most officers didn't mess with that because it was like, whatever. The guy bought a little extra commissary. He didn't have a place to store it. No big deal. Whatever. And then the other one too was looking for illicit materials like prawn, for one thing. They couldn't have prawn, or I guess what the inmates called them. They called them jack books. You can put 2 and 2 together there. So, and as an officer for that shift, you had to conduct, at least for the prison, you had to conduct at least 5 to 6 random checks throughout your shift. So it didn't matter it didn't matter what you did, as long as you got 5 random checks, or 5 to 6 random checks throughout your shift, you were fine. You met your quota. And most of the time, inmates were really cool about that. You know, if they got randomly picked. All right. And generally, if they lost like some extra boxers, or they had some extra stuff that they weren't supposed to have, and they got thrown away or trashed or whatever, they generally understood the game. You know, it's kind of funny because prison itself is like, it's like a city state. It has its own culture. It has its own it has its own hierarchies. It's very interesting. It's very interesting to work in a prison, because you do see those social breakdowns. You do see a lot of that stuff, and there is culture inside within the facility. But anyways, so because this inmate was already glaring at me, and I had to do my random checks, and I still had about 30 or 40 minutes before I get to the before I get there. Before I have to do an in and out, I'm like, let me go mess with this guy. So I kind of look over to him, and I called his name, and he turned around and he looked at me. I said, "Hey, you got anything in your cell that you don't want found?" And he just looked at me. He didn't say nothing. And I was like, "All right, cool." So I unlocked my gate. Let me make this guy fear me. So I opened the gate to out of the Sally port, and I go up the stairs to his cell. And as I get there, I go up to his particular cell. I open the door, and I start rummaging through his things. Like, I know he has a cellie. I don't mess with his cellie stuff. I just mess with his stuff. So I'm going through all of his things, all of his personal things. All right. And by personal, I mean like letters to his significant other outside the prison. What? That's funny, chat. Look at the mini-map. The mini-map has point A inside of... Well, point B is inside point A. That's really funny. Oh, anywho. So, I'm up in this dude's cell, and I am literally tearing his cell apart. I am being the biggest asshole there is. All right. I'm ripping up his sheets. I am looking through his personal stuff. I am going through his commissary, opening up like soda cans and stuff like that. Like I'm being a asshole. All right. Now, there's a level of asshole that I have never I've never really gotten that far before. All right. Or again. You bastard. There have been moments where I probably could have in my older years, but no, I've never gotten to that level again. So so I'm breaking his stuff, I'm going through, I'm ripping up love letters from his significant other and whatever. Now, I don't know how he did it. I have an idea. I don't know how he did it, but he did do it. What he does, he actually he manages to sneak his way back up to his cell. And he's standing behind me. I've returned. Welcome back. Perfect. The chat feels so quiet. It does. It does feel quiet. I mean, it's Wednesday. Generally, I've accepted that Wednesdays are pretty quiet and pretty slow boxing. It's like the middle of the week. Things don't pick up till like Thursday or Friday. Yeah. And I mean, and I genuinely don't blame people for not being here in the chat because it's Wednesday. It makes me wonder if I should just like not stream on Wednesday anymore and just stick to Thursday and Friday, or Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Because everybody wants to see me play the Quarry. Everybody wants to see the Quarry or, you know, something other than World of Warships. Fun days like Saturdays or Fridays are very active. Yeah, they are. Well, I'll finish the story because I got about 20-30 minutes left before I need to sign off. Warships are cool. Well, I appreciate it, Boxy. Thank you. So I don't know how to this day how this inmate got there. I have my suspicions. But I could not confirm anything. But he managed to sneak his way out of the day room and get himself. Haven't played Quarry in a while. He managed to get himself up to the second floor as to where his cell was, and he managed to be right there as I was ripping into his personal effects. Okay. And I kind of turn around and I see him. He sees me. We kind of like stand there looking at each other for a little bit. And we kind of just like, and as I'm backing up, well, as I'm looking up, I get up and I kind of look at him and I put my hand on my holster. My holster is holding my pepper spray, because you can't have a gun and you can't have like any type of weapons other than these and pepper spray. That's it. That's all you can carry. You can't carry anything else. So, too short. Oof, mountains. Yeah, it still counts. Interesting. Okay. So he was standing right there, and I'm kind of looking at him, and I'm backing up, and I have my hand on my holster, and I am just saying, like, all right, dude, look, we've had our fun. We've had some laughs. How about this? If you let me walk out, no harm, no foul, I won't even write you up or think about how you snuck out of the day room, right? And he's just looking at me, glaring at me, and he's a bit bigger dude than I am. All right, I'm 5'5", 5'6", depending on what convenience store I'm walking out of, and depending on what shoes I'm wearing too. And so this inmate is walking towards me, and I'm backing up. The only problem is I'm in his cell. The cells are only 3 feet by 5 feet. They're not very big, and not to mention, eventually I'm going to run out of real estate. So I'm looking at this dude, and I'm just telling him, like, look, man, back up, back up, back up. Look, just let me go, let me out. We call it even, even Stevens, whatever. I'm literally just trying to plead with this guy. He takes one step closer, and now he's like just a couple feet away from me. This guy, and I just like, okay, this dude is not gonna let me go, so I can try to intimidate him. Yeah, hello, I haven't played World of Warships in 3 years. Is the game dead, or is it strong with a player base? It's still pretty strong with a player base. Both the North American and European servers, they do have quite a bit of people there. You have a baton or a taser, right? No, you're not allowed. The only time we can carry batons in prison is when there's a riot. With tasers, we're not allowed to have them at the time. We were not allowed to have them, even though I had to be tased to experience. Hey, no problem, Don. No problem. Let's open this container. Yeah, they're fun. They're fun when they can be, you know. Come on, super container, super container, super container. You left when submarines came out? Okay. Yeah, I mean, submarines are still a thing. You gotta, I mean, there's certain ways to unlock them if you don't have them. I have them, I've unlocked them, but I rarely play them. Right now they're going through their 9th anniversary. So if you actually jump in, you actually might get like 4 days of premium if you're interested in playing. So the dude comes in, and I'm just like, okay, I gotta try and intimidate this guy. So let me try to intimidate him. So I look him square in the eye and I'm like, look, man, if you take one step closer, I am going to put you in the ground. I'll have to reload the game. Yeah. If it's been a while, I mean, submarines, you rarely see submarines, especially like in ranked matches. They do happen. Like ranked is going on right now. You see them mostly in the, what's the other, random, I think. But you rarely see them in ranked matches. They do come in every now and then, but it's not really a thing. And so I looked at the inmate square in the eye and I told him, I said, look, dude, if you come any step closer to me, I'm going to put you in the ground. Just back up and let me go. I called this dude bluff. I called his bluff right then and there. And sure enough, this dude takes one step closer. Cool info, thank you. No problem, bud. The guy takes a step closer to me and I'm just like, oh shit. The last thing I tell this inmate before he comes at me was like, if you come at me swinging, I am going to F you up. I'm telling you right now. So leave. As soon as I don't even get the sentence out, he comes at me, he charges at me, and we're just tussling in this 3x5 cell. All right, this dude is just coming at me with full force. He's grabbing me, he's trying to grapple me, he's grabbing my pants, he's grabbing all this stuff. He's trying to get a foothold on me, and we're just knocking each other, just boom, 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 body shot, body shot, body shot. Same thing goes for him, and he's giving me body shot and body shots. So he manages to get me on the ground. When he gets me on the ground, I'm thinking like, oh man, this is it. This dude is he is going to do the worst thing imaginable to me right now. Like I have heard horror stories of this kind of stuff happening. So I'm thinking to myself like, oh no, I can't let this happen. So the dude comes down on top of me and I am just kicking him in his crotch. I'm kneeing him. I am trying to get him like subdued as quickly as possible. Now granted, you know, the ass whooping that I was receiving, it was very much justified in my eyes. All right, this guy he's pissed off with me. So, you know, I take all the ice cream. I'm in his cell, damaging all his personal property. But yeah, this dude is angry. So I'm just wailing on him, trying to get him off of me because I'm thinking that he's going to grape me. And I'm just hollering for help. I am hollering at the top of my lungs for help. Just help, help, help. Officer, back up, back up, back up, back up. And as I'm starting to shout for help, the other inmates are starting to shout as well, drowning out my cries for help. They are getting loud as well. Clever, smart. You know, mad props here. And so the inmate is wailing on me and I'm trying to defend myself as best I can because I'm still on the ground and on my back. You don't get paid enough? I mean, I get paid enough now, but when I was a prison guard, I got paid pretty well, actually. I'm happy I don't do that anymore, to be completely honest. I'm glad I'm not a prison guard anymore. I'm happy just being a teacher. Yeah. Why is everybody turning around? Nobody wants to go after A? Alright, fine. Well, if nobody wants to go after A, I'll turn around myself. And so the guy is like tugging on my pants and I'm thinking he's trying to like rip them off of me. Alright, and I'm just like, oh man, this dude is really gonna go at it Like, he's really trying. What do you teach? I teach history, specifically world history, but I can teach like government, economics, U.S. history, world geography, Texas history. That's where I live. I live in Texas. Yeah, you missed. Love history, my favorite. Oh yeah, man. I am a huge fan of history. I'm a huge fan of history. And so, as I'm struggling with this inmate on top of me, I don't notice that under his bunk he had a shiv. I study history just as a hobby. Well, that's great, man. You're on your way to amateur historian. That's how I started, and then eventually I got a degree in history. And then I was like, what can I do with my degree in history? Oh, I know, I can teach history. Ooh, that dude got clapped. Wait, we haven't sank a single one of their ships? Are you serious, guys? Ooh, that's a bit off. That was off. He was turning. Who? What? When? Where? Why? And how? No. There. That's who it is. It's Scharnhorst. He's turning. Nah, too soon. Oh man. Yeah, I'm catching those broadsides. I got 2 rocks, Bob and Sam. One smaller than the other. Damn, they're giving me the business right now. 12 kilometers. I just need to angle myself just a bit more. That Algier is just gonna... That Algier is gonna, like, tear me up piece by piece. Oof. Oh, I'm surprised that did not... He's probably just as surprised that didn't do anything. Davy Joe's longer is nice, I'm told. I know, right? I hear they got good Wi-Fi down there. So the inmate goes and grabs a shiv that he had fashioned out from underneath his bunk, and I managed to get up off the ground as I push him off of me. So he's standing in front of me, and he has the shiv in his hand. And yeah. So he has his shiv in his hand, and he's just kind of like standing like this. And he goes in for a thrust, and I managed to like deflect it just a little bit. And then he goes in for another thrust, but when he goes in for a thrust, he tries to grapple me and pull me in close, and he's trying to like get the shiv into my stomach. I managed to actually deflect it again. It happens really fast. It happens really, really fast. And I managed to deflect the shiv down to his waist, and then I'm trying to break free from the fact that he's grappling me. And then as we're moving back and forth, I'm giving him body shots again, right up his ribs. just trying to get him to let me go. And I'm getting tired. I'm absolutely getting exhausted. We've been at this for a little bit of a while. We're both kind of like huffing and puffing. And so finally, like, he comes in and he just manages to stick the shiv. Did that dude get an attempted murder charge? Absolutely. The dude sticks the shiv up my thigh and is actually about roughly, like, he gets it into my thigh. I don't feel it at first because of the adrenaline that's coursing through me. And I'm just like, boom, 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 just punching his chest as hard as we can. Wednesday, yeah, right. So finally, the guy just, like, he goes down hard, and I'm just wailing on this guy's chest, just doom, doom, one combo after the other. Eventually, since the inmates realize that the other inmate is losing, and I'm on top of him now, wailing on his chest, trying to get him to pass, like, knock the wind out of him, literally. They start calling for help. Eventually, the officers, a couple of officers show up. They see me on top of him because the inmates are directing to where the fight was. And it takes roughly 2 to 3 guys to pull me off of him. And I'm yelling and screaming at the top of my lungs, help, help, help. He's trying to grape me. He's trying to grape me. Because I honestly thought that's what he was trying to do. He wasn't trying to do that. He was trying to stick me down so he can stick me with his shiv. Pause. But the thing was that, but in all actuality, in all seriousness, he was literally trying to yank me down so he can grab his shank and, you know, gut me. And they take me down to medical. I get down to medical and they're examining me. They're drawing my blood to make sure I don't have, like, AIDS or anything like that. Because it does happen. Hey, Toe Eater, what's up? Hadn't seen you around in a minute. We lost. I knew that was going to happen. So the inmate goes ahead and, like, he's getting checked out because he's got blood on him, and that blood is mine, of course, you know. Yeah, there's every prison facility has a medical infirmary. It's not a triage center. It's an actual, like, small mini hospital where inmates get treated. Most of the doctors that work in medical, they're usually, like, student doctors. They're student practitioners. They're on they're like going through med school in a way. And same thing goes for the nurses. The nurses that work there too, they're also, like, they're going through nursing school, and, you know, it's an easy gig working for the state. So the doctor's there, and he's kind of looking at me, and he's just like, well, your test results are coming back clean. You seem to be okay. There just seems to be a singular problem. And I said, what's that, doc? He's like, well, you got a shank stuck in you. And I kind of, like, looked down at my thigh, and I was just like, I'll be damned, I sure do. And doc was like, do you want to keep it as a souvenir? And I said, doc, get that fucking thing out of me right now. And needless to say, after this incident of having my brush with death, kind of calmed me down a little bit. I was no longer the hot-headed individual that I was. I eventually became the person that I am now. Very slow to anger, very very quick to find a way out of certain situations. If I can talk my way out of it, I'll do it. If I can't, well, all I can say is God help you. Because if I gotta go down, we're both going down. Scorched earth. I didn't know. I in no way kicked the ass of this prisoner. I did not. He was kicking my ass, and I was lucky. I was lucky that I managed to get him subdued like I did, because I probably would not. I probably wouldn't have been able to. So like, because I sure as hell think about it every now and then, and I'm just like, you know what? Damn, dude, I came really close to dying, because the shiv itself was about roughly 1 inch to 2 inches away from the main artery in my thigh. Had he been so inclined to, yeah, I heard what happened today in Georgia. Yeah, all the teachers were talking about it. The Minecraft trailer came out today. I didn't know that they had a trailer. Like, is it a movie? Like, it's a Minecraft movie?
Torpedoes auf Backbord! Torpedoes auf Backbord! Gegnerischer Kreuzer versenkt!
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
Zerstört!
Oof. That was close. That was super close. The movie looks terrible. It's just scary. There were 2 cops in my school instead of 1 today. Yeah, I heard about what happened. Sad business, man. All the teachers were talking about it when the news started coming out. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, that has never crossed my mind at the schools that I've always worked at. Like, it's never crossed my mind. Not because I don't think that it can happen. It's just it just never comes it never comes to thought. You know. Because generally, like, Texas, after the whole Uvalde situation, Texas has become very more, I guess, more alert about those kinds of things, and so they're very, yeah, I don't, and I honestly really don't think about it. I know that there's a bunch of, like, young teachers that do. They're kind of like always like looking over their shoulder, and I'm just like, personally, ooh, that hurt. That hurt. Where's the other one at? Come on. I mean, you know, yeah, exactly. And the thing is that there's some young teachers that are just like, oh no, like, what are we going to do in this situation? I don't know. Stick to your training, do what you're supposed to do. That's why, like, take every drill seriously. Know where all the exits are, know what you're supposed to do. I'm dead. that's not gonna happen. Ooh, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Exit battle, yes. I mean, yeah, so it's one of those things where it's just like, you know, hey, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. Just you know what you know, I hate to say this, and I really do, and I always hate to say this. You know, being a school teacher, even being a student in America, that's always the possibility. And it's one of those things to where, like, you should stay vigilant, but don't dwell on it. You know. And I guess for me personally, like, I always fall back on my training as a corrections officer. I guess that kind of like segues into this. I'm probably one of the like there's a bunch of teachers that I work with that used to work in the prison system, and they're now teachers or they're coaches or whatever. And we kind of don't think about it. Like, we'll sit around and joke and do all this other stuff because, I mean, we dealt with that kind of stuff on almost a semi-regular basis. Either this inmate got stabbed, or this officer got stabbed, or this officer got jumped, or whatever the case is. There's some form of violence, you know, it's whatever. And I just don't think about it. I'm just so desensitized from working in the prison system myself. It's just like I don't think about it, and I just go through my day, you know, myself. It's kind of like the same thing when I see fights in the hallway, you know. Like, all the students, they're always so super excited to see a fight. They're always super excited to see bloodshed and stuff like that. Personally, myself, I go to Mexico and I love it. I could be paranoid, but being kidnapped or robbed, but why think like that? I go to Mexico quite often, and I've never had that issue. You know, and all my students will always come to me like, "Hey, Mister, did you see the fight? Did you see the fight?" I'm like, "No." Why? You know, Mr. Mullins? Why does that name sound familiar? The name sounds familiar. I'm trying to think of a face here. The name sounds, I don't know why that name sounds, I'm trying to think of a face. But, you know, like, when the kids get super excited, I always tell the students, like, I know you know Mr. Magoo. Yeah, I do know Mr. Magoo. I'm old enough to know Mr. Magoo. You know, I just the students always come to me and they always ask, like, Mister, did you see the fight? I'm like, did somebody die? No. Did somebody get hurt really, really bad? No. Did somebody pull a gun or a knife? No. Okay, I don't care. I don't care. You know, and they'll be watching the recordings of the fights and stuff like that, and I'm just like, guys, don't have the recordings in front of me, or I'll have to take your phone and confiscate it for evidence and give it to the, you know, the principal or what. So it's like, so it's just one of those things where it's just like, yeah, I don't care about fights. I don't care about that stuff. Like, it doesn't bother me, you know. And the thing is, I haven't told my students this year that I used to be a prison guard, and that's why, like, for me, whenever the most that my students will ever hear from me in terms of like, oh, Mister, did you see the fight? I'm like, no, I'm not an animal. You know, we gave up the blood sport with the Coliseum long time ago. In a way. I try not to be, I don't try to be that way, but in a lot of ways I kind of have to. In a lot of ways I kind of have, especially at the school that I work at. The school that I work at, it's a nice school for the most part, but it is, the area around it is, I would say, low on the socioeconomic ladder. In other words, it's a very poor area. So a lot of these kids, all they know is violence, poverty, homelessness. They're angry. Some want to have a better life, and some see education as a way out, there is a correlation between level of education and the ability to go to jail or prison in the end, or at least there's some studies to support that idea. You know, and there are generally some students who want to get out of the neighborhood they're in, and they want to, you know, be better. And then you have others who are like, you know, this is all I know, this is all I'm going to know. So if I'm going to be here, might as well just have fun and live the life that I'm going to be living eventually. I'm an old man. In the 70s, all we did was fist fights every day. Oh man, you know, I would prefer a fist fight every day. I would honestly prefer a fist fight every day. Or at least, you know, a one-on-one fight, because now these kids, they want to, you know, they want to jump each other, have unfair fights. It's unsportsmanlike, you know. It's very unsportsmanlike. You know, if you got a disagreement with a fella, you know, if you got a disagreement with a fella over a young lady, or maybe he looked at you funny and you don't like the way he looked at you, you know, yeah, they really are. It's crazy. It really is. It's absolutely insane. I actually saw a student get jumped right in front of me, and I didn't get in the middle of it, but I kind of hollered out, and the kids kind of just like scattered. We will never know. No, but Mulling sounds like a teacher that I know, that I used to work with, or maybe it was Mullins. Maybe it was Mullins. It was either Mullins or Mullins. I'm very antisocial when it comes to like other teachers. I don't hang around that many teachers per se, unless like, oh, you know, if I find out the teacher did, you know, was in corrections, I might talk to them on a regular basis. But I'm very antisocial. I don't like to. I know that's kind of funny, antisocial, and I'm streaming and I'm talking to you guys. Because teachers gossip, yes, that's definitely a thing. Teachers do gossip, and I try to stay out of the gossip. I try to generally stay out of the gossip. I don't want to be part of it. Don't want to know. I want to keep my head below the radar. You know, my wife, she's the extrovert. I'm the introvert in the relationship, and so it's like, you know, I have a social battery, and so when I'm at work, my social battery starts to like, you know, drain, and by the end of the day I'm like, I don't want to talk to anybody anymore. I have forced myself to talk to people for 8 hours today. I'm done. I'm done. I don't need this anymore. Which is actually kind of funny, because this year they made me a mentor, so now I have to like mentor a first year teacher. So like I have to have a conversation with them. I have to talk to them like, hey, how's it going? You doing okay? Are you all right? It's very awkward, because I like I said, I really don't like I don't like talking to other people. It's very weird. Like my students, I can talk to my students and teach my students all day. I love teaching. I love that. It's just that when it comes time for the professional conversations between coworkers, it's just like, why am I talking to you? Like we don't, like, why? Why is this interaction happening? Why are you addressing me? And like I say that to make it sound like I'm better than other people, but I'm not. I don't see myself as a better person. Now, granted, I can pretend to have an ego. I can pretend to have an ego, like, oh yeah, I'm the best teacher of the entire campus. Everybody loves coming to my classroom. I can feed my social ego, as I call it. But generally most of the time, I will talk to a hot woman for however, as a married man myself, I don't do that as much. I mean, granted, I have a leash, but my leash goes as far as the fence line, and that's as far as it goes. I don't dare to exit the yard. I'm too terrified of the lady. So when I was younger, I did what my dad told me to do. My dad's 70. What is he? 75. He was born in 52. So maybe he's a little bit younger than that. He was born in 52. Lorena Bobbitt. Worse. My wife, she's from Mexico, and she had that conversation, like, if you ever talk to another woman, you are going to end up in a barrel in the middle of the Sonora Desert. I'm just telling you right now. I said, yes, honey. 71. Yeah. So that my pops was 71, and when I was young, when I was younger, and I was involved in a lot of like school stuff. I played baseball when I was younger, and I did all kinds of other stuff. And when we would go to play, generally when we would play at other towns or in other districts, I would, sweet talk girl, maybe talk to a cheerleader here and there, whatever the case was. And I would have myself a girlfriend in another town, and then I would have another girlfriend somewhere else in another town. And my dad was totally okay with this. My dad told me, he's like, look, son, if you're going to have a girlfriend, keep your options open, don't have them in the same town, and make sure that they're not cousins, and, and sure, like, I was like, yes, sir, absolutely. And so, when the baseball team would go here, go there, whatever the case was, I would flirt, chit chat, talk, and the good old days. Oh man, in the 70s and 80s, everyone was sleeping with everyone. It was madness till AIDS hit. Well, the 70s and 80s, you also had coke, lots and lots of coke, too much coke, actually. Is there ever such thing as too much coke? Yes, the 70s and 80s put that limit as to how much coke a person can reasonably have. I actually remember my students asking me I remember my students asked me one time, like, how was it to grow up into the 80s? I'm like, I didn't grow up in the 80s, but I can tell you that the 80s was a lot of fun. If I could describe the 80s in a couple of words, I would say big hair, shoulder pads, and lots of coke. Lots of coke. And my assistant principal pulled me into the office, and Quaaludes. Oh my God, and Quaaludes. I remember when I said that to my students, and my assistant principal pulled me into the office, and he was just like, you cannot tell the students that the 80s was all about coke. I'm like, okay, acid, LSD. Gorbachev. I you know, whatever. You know, it was just what like what do you want me to say? Like, when we say the war on drugs, yeah, that was successful. And then why was there so much coke in the United States? Oh man, the fall of the Soviet Union. Well, that didn't happen until like 1990. It was in the process. It was in the process. And if anything, I speak truth to power. That's what I do. As a history teacher, I speak truth to power. Did you know anyone named Jared? Other than the subway guy, no. Jared was not a common name. Who is Jared? If you go by the South Park skit, Jared had AIDS. Just to let you know. Had a glass table with a mountain of coke. Everyone just helped themselves. Wild times. Oh man. Hey Ice, happy Wednesday. Absolutely. Oh man, you're catching the tail end of the stream, my friend. You're catching the tail end. Right now I'm just winding down. I'm actually like, if you cannot tell, my eyes are like getting heavy because today was open house. So I had to meet a bunch of parents today. Not actually even a bunch of parents. I have 107 students total, and I only met 5 parents. So, yeah, I'm just a wee bit tired, and then I gotta wake up tomorrow morning and get ready. But it's gonna be an easy day because my other half of my students have to take this test tomorrow, which they're going to fail. Probably a majority of them. No, school started August 12th for me. Like the kids are back. They've been back since August 12th, and today was open house. And if you're driving in Houston, and if you're driving in the city of Houston, failure is expected for most of them. Yeah, especially since it's the first test, and a lot of these kids don't understand what they're supposed to be doing. In the sense, you are in your prime. Enjoy the ride. Man, I wish when someone tells me I'm in my prime. I'm 39. I feel twice that age. I really, really do. I kid you not. I actually feel like I'm like in my 60s. I feel beaten. I feel battered. Things hurt. Things hurt. My wife already calls me the old man, so it's fine. And then I have a 2-year-old too, so it's just like 78. Yeah, I after getting kicked around in prison and beaten up and stabbed and everything else like that, and jumped and whatnot, and then working in construction for a little while, just like, thank you, buddy, appreciate it. Thank you. See, this is why I teach history, Boxy, and not math. All right. But look 60 when you're 90. I don't know, man. Gen Xers have aged pretty well. But I identify more with Gen Xers than I actually identify with like millennials. And there's some millennials that are starting to age pretty well. I don't know why. Construction era discovered. Oh man, I've held all kinds of jobs. Before I actually like settled down being a teacher, I held quite a few jobs. I've worked in customer service. I've worked in education as sort of like a sub thing, and working in the background and behind the scenes. More customer service than I wish that I'd never worked. construction, and then teaching. But I've been teaching is probably like the second longest job that I've ever held. The first one being corrections. Corrections, I was there from 2003 to 2009, 2010. I want to say 2010. Trying to think. Yeah, 2010, because I would meet. Yep, 2010. Because I would meet my wife in 2012. Yep, that's right. 2010. I got out of corrections in 2010, and between 2010 and 2012, I was kind of like working in education for a little bit, on and off, kind of like minimum wage stuff. And then I met my wife, or who would eventually be my wife. Though she wasn't really like, she was girlfriend number 3. And I was seeing these two other ladies. One was in college. She was like, I forgot how old she was. She was young. And then there was another lady. She had a kid. Pre-started family. But yeah. Actually, what? It's the 4th. Yeah, today's September 4th. We still got a couple of days. Oh man. Any more kids in the future? I would like to have one more. Honestly, I would like to have one more. I was talking to my wife about this, and I was like, you know what? I would like to have one more kid if possible. And she said, sure, but who's going to give it to you? I was like, well, honey, if you're not going to do the job, I'll find somebody who will. Little did I know she was brandishing the kitchen knife at me when I said that. Oh. I'm sure there's somebody out there. I'm sure there's somebody out there. No, I would never. I love my wife. She's the most beautiful woman in the entire world. An offer you cannot refuse. Oh man. I always when I always tell my wife, I'm like, you know, I thank God every day that I'm married to you, because there's no way that I'm ever leaving, because all my stuff is here. All my tools are here. Why would I leave? Yeah, and so I would actually like to have a boy if possible, but then every time I think about it, I'm just like, boy, you know. Are you Scots-Irish? No, not Scots-Irish. My wife wish I was Scots-Irish. She has a thing for Scottish men, but it's I think it's the ginger thing. I think that's what it is. Nope, I am Anglo. Well, maybe no. Anglo is not the right term. Anglo is what we call people who are white down here in Texas. I'm a mutt. So I have Spanish and Italian blood in me, and also Mexican. Mexican on my dad's side, Spanish Italian on my mom's side. Hablo Español? No hablo. No Nintendo, as the gringos say. A true Texian. Yep. I have the colonizers on one side of the family tree, and then I have the oppressed on the other side of the family tree. And then my wife comes in, and like my wife is white as they come. Like she is so white that she shrimps when she goes to the beach. Like she cannot go to the beach. My brain is shutting off, I think. Well, Boxy, it is about that time, friend. It's 11:30 at night. It's about time for your bedtime. Yeah, my wife shrimps up when we go to the beach. Me, I tan. I'm grateful for the fact that I tan. But I'm very, very, very grateful for that. You know. Oh man. I'm due for a trim really soon by the looks of this. It's getting kind of starting to look like General Longstreet, which is really cool. I don't have a bedtime. Oh man. I only date Latinas. They're old fashioned like me. Oh man, they're the best. They're the best. I'm not shrinking because I'm getting old. I'm shrinking because I put the chair down a little bit more. The beard looks epic on you. Well, thank you. It's in the marriage license. I found out not too long ago. My wife is legally obligated to like beat me up and leave me if I ever shave the beard off. I didn't know it was in the marriage license when I signed the paperwork. Good night, Pastor. Mr. Dodge, take care of yourself, bud. So yeah, so I'm not allowed to shave it off. Yeah, the man with the shaved beard that I used to be no longer exists. In fact, she scrubbed those pictures clean from existence. She pulled a good old Joseph Stalin and scrubbed that guy out of existence. He no longer exists. The only pictures we have are of me with a beard. Must have beard, yes. Which I generally don't mind having a beard. I don't mind having a beard. I honestly don't. Especially like if I'm smoking a cigar or I have like I'm drinking whiskey or have a pipe or anything. Yeah, the good old days. You're absolutely right, Don. The good old days. At the very least, you can trim it to avoid looking like a hermit, right? Yes, I am allowed to trim it and shape it. You know, personally, let me see if I can find a good picture, because there are two styles that I actually want to rock. There are two styles that I want to rock. See if I can find it. So I would really like to have this particular style. I know this is going to look funny. I would really like to have this particular style of beard. All right. This nice, long, bushy shape. You know, which would be really great. Like if I ever decide to become looks historic, absolutely. I've always wanted to be a reenactor as well, so this would like play perfect for that part. Fits your personality. Old and decrepit, yeah, I know. And then and then the other one would be the one that I want to have, the one that I want to have, that I am not allowed to have. My wife has forbidden me to grow, at least while I'm working. Looks like a raccoon making love to a mouse. This is what I truly, truly want. I want to have a very long, flowing beard. I know I can do it. If I start now, by the time I'm 70, maybe 80, it will be out to that point. But my wife has strictly forbidden me, regardless of how much she likes Lord of the Rings. And I told her, I said, look, I can even be really cool. In the state of Texas, it is totally legal to carry a sword. So I can carry, a long sword, an elvish blade, with a steeple hat and some robes. I'd fit in. I would be totally okay with this. I mean, come on. I think I would look pretty cool. Tell her you're Amish and must do it. Yes. I'm leaving the English behind. You English and the way you speak and your technological ways. I no longer want them. I am becoming a Mennonite. Oh wait, if I become a Mennonite, I might have to convert to Protestantism. I don't think I can do that. I think that's a requirement. I don't know of any Roman Catholic Amish or Mennonites. You can do an Amish drive-by. Get up. Oh man. Oh, I would love to see you at a local KFC wielding a 4-foot long beard and a sword in 40 years. That is, I would love to do that. I mean, I could have a 4-foot. I mean, I could have a long sword or a broadsword strapped to my back. It's legal in the state of Texas to carry one of those. Now, the 4-foot long beard is something that I'm gonna have to work on. I have to get it past the wife. Unfortunately, her eyes work very well. It'd be kind of difficult to do that. Oh, what's the other one? Is it No, he didn't have a beard. He had a mustache. I mean, his mustache was kind of wicked, but no, not him. Is it this one? Yeah, that's okay. So maybe something like this. I've tried really hard. Here he is. This one. I've tried really hard to convince my wife to let me have this, if possible. All right. Something like this, maybe this really awesome mustache. All right. Kind of like Kaiser Wilhelm II, or something like this. I think that would be really cool. Very fancy, very distinguished. I would say that I would keep the beard. All right, the beard would be, there's a better picture right there. That is such an epic picture of this man. One of my favorite presidents of Mexico. You can't get any better. Look at this. Look at the drip on this guy. Seriously. Look at this guy. He is so fashionable. And the fact that the people of Mexico hated this man makes me so upset. How could you be mad and upset at a man with that much drip? That much, as the kids say, riz. I hate myself for saying that. When men were... And look, they have little cute little art pieces of him. How could you be mad at this? This guy's cool. This guy modernized Mexico, and they see him as a tyrant. A tyrant. He's not even a tyrant. He was a great guy. I mean, granted, he forced all the peasants and the farmers to, like, you know, submit themselves to government control. But hey, you know what? It's the price that we all must pay. It's just your freedom, guys. It's just your freedom. You know? Oh, man. All right, guys. I got to get off. I got work tomorrow morning. I will be back. What's today? Wednesday. I will be back on Friday, and we're going to continue with our story in the quarry. All right. So Friday will be the quarry. Saturday will be probably the quarry again. Maybe not. Don't know. Sunday will be a chill stream. I still need to finish my maps and get ready for that stuff. But I will see you guys later. I will see you all Friday. Take care of yourselves. All right. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And adios.